Oh well, a story untold is a story lost to the grave. So let me tell you a story of a voyage that I once had. I was traveling with a friend of mine from high school. Originally, we planned to travel to Siberia with several other people, but those people resigned. So I decided to organize the whole journey to Mongolia, to Ulaanbaatar and back via the trans-siberian railway. Now, I was 21 years old back then, and I wanted to explore the world, as I was a globetrotter and I liked to visit foreign countries, to respect the autochthones, to talk with them, and to participate in many an event. So, I will guide you through pictures. This was on the Polish-Belarusian border when the undercarriage of the train was changed in order to fit with the rail width, the setting in Russia. And I managed to take a couple of pictures on this border when they were lifting the carriages up and changing the undercarriage, as you may see. This is Orsha in Belarus. This is Victor, my traveling companion. Orsha, as one may see in Belarus, we just passed through Belarus, we didn't stand, we didn't go out. Because we didn't have a Belarusian visa. I had a Russian visa and a Mongolian visa, so that would be illegal. This is a view from our hostel called Sevastopolski in Moscow. As you can see, the buildings are quite brute socialist. Then the first day I decided to go and see the Red Square. So there you go, the Red Square, ta-da. This is the statue of Menin Pożarski, who managed to kick out Poles from Moscow at a certain point in time during the Dimitriades. This is at night time. This is the statue of Marshal Zhukov. And this is an interesting story because on the way back I didn't manage to understand that the metro is actually finishing its course at midnight, and we had to walk through industrial districts of Moscow for several kilometers to get to a certain point. And guess what? I met this person called Volodya. And Volodya was kind enough to tell us stories and to guide us through the streets of Warsaw. He's probably dead in Russian-Ukrainian war by now, but I wish the guy well. Whatever happened to him, he was a bit older than us, and we drank beer together, we chatted together, conversed together, and he safely managed to escort us to the given point. He was homeless, he was from Vladimir, and his whole existence circulated around going to one restaurant and walking there at daytime, then moving on foot or by subway to another restaurant when he walked at night and he slept. So you can see the great discrepancy between the poverty, the poor of the Russian side of affairs and the rich, omnipotent oligarchs and the rich devouring their own society. So that is me and Volodya. Hello. Yeah, the window, that's me. This is Kazański Vokzal. Buildings that are, of course, typically Stalinist. This is a statue of Imperator Alexander II. Me and lion. I like to unwing lions. For example, in the zoo, the Temple of the Winged Lions of Atargatis or Ashtarte. When I went to the Warsaw Zoo, I decided to wing the souls of two lions. Their name is Sofia, there, and Zulus, the male lion. No, there. That's a view from the bridge. That's Peter the Great, if I'm correct. And statue, the view of Kremlin, which is our terrain was called Rossia, like that. That's me studying the map of Mongolia with all the calculations and stuff. I also had the GPS with me. Coffee, all the trips. That was second class. We didn't travel Platzkartna or the first class. This carriage went to Beijing. As you can see, we were going from Moscow to Ulaanbaatar to Beijing, Peking. Luckily, we didn't end up in a Chinese carriage because they were unventilated much. This is Kirov. Babushka selling the stuff to others. You could eat almost at every possible stop. You could buy stuff from babushkas, and that was prime food of the journey. Now that is, I believe, River Ob, Sverdlovsk Pasažierski, and we travel on. No, I forgot the names of all the rivers. Oh, it's Lenin eternally alive. Actually, I've seen Lenin in the mausoleum when it was possible to see him, and the armed bodyguards were guarding his body. So the mummy of Lenin still alive somehow. Okay, this means stojac blisko kraju platformy opasno. Mind the gap. Or don't go near the platform border. Okay, so the Siberian villages and those little huts are beautifully painted. Magnificent stuff. Now, what do we have now? Victor, that's me. I didn't get authorization from this friend that I'm no longer in touch with to publish these pictures, but it doesn't matter. Baltica beer, and of course, cigarettes, Bilomor Canal and others. I always wanted to smoke this shit, and I bought a lot of Bilomor Canal cigarettes. We are approaching Novosibirsk. Yes, Novosibirsk. And we've met some other Polish people on the way. I have no authority nor authorization to publish them, but yeah, we had fun together, drank some beer, ate some soliankas. Villages of Siberia. Wsio dla fronta, wsio dla pobiedy. This train probably still remembers the times of World War II. It means all for the front, all towards victory. Passing the rivers, watching the dragons in the skies made of clouds. Train, emptiness. Krasnoyarski Kraj. I could move there. Everyone would be happy. Alright, and this is another river in Siberia, deep Siberia. I think it's before Irkutsk. I remember all the names of those rivers and cities and towns and villages. I tracked them with the map, but unfortunately I forgot them by now. Oh, the bears. I remember I had a little, that's Ulan-Ude. I had a little adventure here when I was almost mobbed and killed and knifed, but we talked and got some cigarettes together, so that was cool. Yeah, little Victor, who was actually troubling me throughout the way because he was nagging all the time that his mommy is not bloody hell near. Then he became an adventurous person, but back then it was crap. Now this is Naushki, the lucky 23. Naushki border on Russia-Mongolian border. Komendantura wojennych сообщений, железнодорожный, stacja Naushki. So yeah, that is me with my favorite vodka, which is Nemirov with peperchuska and honey and Bilomor Canal cigarettes. We've met Basque people on the way. They were from Basque state in Spain. Social worker and grant teacher. Fantastic people. Then with Victor, more Canal cigarettes, and my declarations, how many rubles do I have, how many dollars do I have. I hid the dollars all over the place. In my belt, you cut out a little, let's say, you cut your belt in half, put the dollars and then sew it back. Now, Bilomor Canal, Peterburg, cigarette study. And this is Mongolia, steppes of Mongolia. So we travel through, nearing Sukhpatar first. And we can see the beginnings of yurtas. Did you know that Mongolia has a population of 2 million horses to 1 million people, so 2:1 proportion. So approaching Ulaanbaatar. Yep, the democratically elected president of Mongolia was assassinated due to US, Canadian, Australian and Western interests because he wanted to nationalize the rich resources of Mongolia, and that was a baba to fucking Westerners. So this is the parliament of Mongolia with their hero Sukhbatar. Victor, it's me with long hair, still some homeless person. Yurt, Sukhbatar, and this is the statue of Genghis Khan, Temujin for short. He was a great reformer, great religious and military leader, and what they say about him in the West is bullshit. Read the books on the Mongolian Ode. Now, warriors, they look like that, historically speaking. And those little horses were very bulky and very fast, rest assured. I tried one myself. Oh look, now me given by great vainglory. I remember that once I was driving a car there and I said that if I would be living back in the days, I would create an empire. This is the museum of Mongolian history, fascinating stuff. And approaching the Avalokiteshvara monastery, it's still walking, some dogs, some cats. I like to play with kittens. Yes, the entry. Buddhist monk, Victor, and the great entry to the temple of Avalokiteshvara. Yeah. May peace prevail on earth. That is next to the University of Ulaanbaatar. My ex-girlfriend, after hearing my adventures, decided on a journey to study Oriental studies after finishing linguistics, and she was even braver than me, even more courageous, because she went there to be a professor at the University of Ulaanbaatar, believe it or not. Bright girl. Now, it almost seems like I inspire a lot of people and then myself end up in pretty much shitty situations. I shouldn't do that anymore. Now, the wheel of the Dharma that turns eternally, may it be remembered. Oh, upside down, Avalokiteshvara, great, beautiful statue. From all forms and possible little retinues and votive statues. Yeah. These are the slums of Ulaanbaatar. I tried to find the black market, but unfortunately I didn't. I went accidentally into the slummy areas, and where there were corpses, well, one corpse laying knife to death and rotting away. By the way, as a story, I must say that there was an American tourist that abused a 13-year-old girl, and he got himself knifed to death by the family of the girl. Nobody heard about him anymore. That was a secret that the owner of the place where we were staying told me. That was a hostel. So families in the States that are worried for their little spoiled brats that are going as sex tourists and doing plenty of naughty business, be prepared that your children will be murdered if they won't behave. Rightly so. Now, yeah, oh look, that's a Mongolian crow, and the pigeon of Judeo-Christianity shattered. Now, okay, let's go further. You know that they were treated as bad luck, unfortunately, but I kinda like them. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, billard. One of the national sports of Mongolia is billard. Apart from wrestling, archery, horse riding, and shooting from horse. And they also they adore Japanese sport of sumo. They adore watching sumo people. How do I know? Because I hung out with Mongols. That's the best picture I ever took. I almost sent it to World Press Photo, but nobody would accept it. Now, this is a cave of a saint, of a Buddhist saint. And this is the Gorky Terech Park, as I believe the monkey rock. And we received 2 horses for tourists, which were crappy. I mean, the animals were fantastic, but they weren't meant to be rode, unfortunately. It's the white dog that followed us, the tarot full card. And then we climbed up and up and up and up to this place. Most of the temples were destroyed during Stalinist purges in Mongolia, most unfortunately. Personally, I'd rebuild them. And we went there in 2007. It was not a very popular travel destination back then. These are old Soviet military bases. Oh, that was hunting the wolves. Okay, this lady was funny because we were asking her for directions. She said, you go there, 40 kilometers, then turn right when the rabbit is jumping and the horse is flying, and 200 kilometers, and then to the left. Something like that. She spoke Mongolian, of course. So that is the first trip. The first trip was organized by the hostel. Then we decided to team up with a certain friend of mine from Mongolia that was in Poland, and he spoke fluent Polish. So I decided to go 13 miles away from the camp, and that was a beautiful voyage because there was nothing else but the steppes. It reminded me of my childhood when I was in the Emirates, close to Rub al-Khali desert, and I remember vividly the desert of emptiness, and I love spaces, empty spaces. That was my favorite space. And the steppes. I was still close to it. Zoom. Yeah, there's a tradition that when you're weary and tired, you leave a rock on such a spot and you get all your worries and woes and sufferings away. So I pursued such an idea. Selfies. Steps. Yeah, wild horses of Mongolia. They are wild horses. I managed to take a couple of pictures of those wild horses. The last Mustangs on Earth. They didn't seem to be afraid of me at all. Ah, this is the camp. Camp. I also managed to take some pictures of falcons these are not falcons, but I was laying down, playing dead for them to near me so that they will start circling around my cadaver, because that's how wild animals behave, and then I started taking pictures of them. Oh, that's a beautiful one. Now, and I'm looking at the sunset. Oh yes, this is a fetish from the Bon. I won't describe it too much. The family that was hosting us, the great family. And this is the morning. Up. And yurt, and more yurts, and more yurts. The whole family here with Dalai Lama. Some pseudo-artistic pictures. Oh yes, when it comes to slaughter and killing of animals, it's a lie that Buddhists are all vegetarian. No, they're not. Mongolian Buddhists eat meat because there's nothing else to eat. And I've seen the most humanitarian way of slaughtering an animal, which is taking a knife, cutting through the neck immediately, putting your hand in and breaking its neck. 1 second. This man was professional. 1 second, the animal is dead, you can use it. This horse was much more trained and better. I remember that a Mongolian praised me for riding a horse like a Mongolian, which was, to me as a European, a great compliment. This is one of the monasteries that was destroyed during the purges. I decided to climb a mountain, of course, because why not? The nearest hospital was in probably Beijing, and I decided to jump like a little goat up and down the hill. When I was still 21, and nowadays I'd break my both legs and kill myself probably. So, oh, that's the end? No, it's not the end. Nothing is the end. Okay, let's see. And this, okay, back to Mongolia. This is the family that hosted us. Victor had a bad stomach day. Yeah, we were eating dumplings and stuff that this wonderful family prepared for us. Wrestling, domino. This was the time of the Nadan festival, so everyone was cool. And that's my traveling backpack. I traveled light. By the way, I've spent just around $500 on the whole trip, which lasted a month. And what the trips the travel companies sell you is bullshit. For hundreds of dollars, you can have a decent journey if you plan it well. For $500, honestly. At least that was in 2007. Okay, this man is selling. You can call anyone. That's a satellite phone, by the way. He was walking with it and asked whether anyone wants to call his family or something. Okay. Lost highway. So I've decided to cut my hair. And I was praised by all friends, Mongolian friends, by cutting my hair because I looked like a real Mongolian. So an officer of Mongolian army helped me to shave the rest of it. First it was some kind of alcoholic drunkard, and he cut my head quite a lot by accident. And this is Erdenzu Monastery in Karkorin. The true imperial capital was somewhat 30 miles eastwards, but the Erdenzu monastery is, I think, from 15th century. Beautiful protectors and so many other goodies. The walls of Erdenzu. At the time there were almost no one there, no tourists. I was forbidden to take this picture, and I made a very bad decision. I promised to my Japanese friend that I will not buy anything from the Russo-Japanese War, and I did. I was an idiot. This is an original factory-made officer's sword. I don't remember which model. From 1936 Japan factory-produced swords. So yeah, the boys play with swords and stuff. Okay, maps. So while I was there, I was lucky enough because they chased all the Western tourists away. They asked them to leave. Why? Because a certain person, namely Naruhito, the Prince of Japan back then, arrived. And I was sitting with my beer, looking at my maps, watching Naruhito and his entourage and all that arrive on the battlefield. So yes, that's the guy shaming me. And later they moved to Oginur, the imperial entourage. That's a cock that the boys worried that if I sit on it, I will become pregnant. But no, that was for more women to become pregnant. And yeah, eventually they all had fun with the Sataurian idea. Okay, that's Erdenzu Monastery, and that's the imperial extent of the empire of Genghis Khan. It was the largest empire ever on earth. And modern day Karkorin looks like that without the lights. At least that's how it looked like in 2007. Probably it got more built nowadays. We're eating stuff with the lads. And this is a monument, the original monument from the Uyghur Turkic Empire. The Uyghurs were there in the 8th century modern era. I managed to find translations of these symbols, signs, and so on. They're decoded, by the way. One of the first Turkic people. Ogin Urlik. Yeah, everyone's having fun. Okay, and that was our tent. Now the story was that we were residing at the Lama's territory, the Great Lama, that was also a lecturer at the University of Ulaanbaatar. He was most likely a devotee of the great Mahakali Mother, if I identified it correctly. And he said he doesn't want any Westerners nearby. So I said that we can plant our tent 300 meters away from his yurt, and we'll stay there if he agrees. And he agreed. Afterwards, at night, in the evening, when he checked his spirits and everything up there, he decided to invite us over for kumis and for storytelling and all that. He was a great master, and I borrowed, I leased a horse from him. And when I was riding this horse, the entourage of the current emperor of Japan, was going towards Oginur. I followed their column parallelly. So you never know, maybe the emperor of Japan waved him higher or something, but I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, riding. There were wolves nearby. I believe that Victor had a gun or a flare. I wasn't equipped with that. It's me in all the days. And I've promised not to show the pictures of this man. I respect him dearly. That was also his consort. And the rainbow. The rainbow was beautiful. Oh, the fantastic people. Now this was where they wanted to build a new capital of Mongolia, and it was marked there as the epicenter. I don't know whether it progressed or not. Some horses. That's a Soviet rifle from 1916. It's 11. And the UAZ, I always wanted to ride an UAZ. I mean, when it comes to choice of cars in the East, UAZ is surviving anything, and you can fix it on the road. Okay, everyone. Boys with guns with boys. Victor wanted me to take this picture, and he wanted me to lie to everyone that he was visiting Gobi. No, we didn't go into Gobi, but that's the truth. And that's Wild East. Okay, Zhukov. This is the old Winter Palace in Ulaanbaatar, and that is the president that was assassinated. And now onwards to Moscow. Well, that's still in Ulaanbaatar. As you see, I'm equipped well. So, still Mongolia. Yes. Okay. These people, this is a Belarusian chess mistress. She was a chess mistress going from Ulaanbaatar to Belarus to witness the marriage of her daughter with a Turkish person. And this was Yelena. Yelena got married later, and she had 2 daughters, and I'm heartbroken because most likely her husband was dispatched to the front. She was a university educated librarian and administrator, and with Victor we played chess a lot, and she was a happy girl and a smart one, unlike the Western ones. Now some Dostoevsky's museum, his playground. Okay. I always wanted to touch the table of Dostoevsky. I read all his books apart from Brothers Karamazov. I didn't read Brothers Karamazov. Dostoevsky statue. Yeah. So what do we have here? In this house, Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky was born. Ta-da! These 2 farms, we were traveling together from Warsaw to Moscow, and they were there for a Russian language course. Okay, Tchaikovsky. And one of those girls saved my ass from FSB. Okay, this is Bulat Okudjava, Arbat. We are standing amongst the great bards. I also wanted to see the statue of Vladimir Vysotsky. That's near Tretakovska Gallery. And that's Bulgakov's museum. Have you ever read The Heart of a Dog or The White Guard or Master and Margarita? My favorite book of his is Heart of a Dog. Honestly. And Master and Margarita was his own story of him and his wife. It was unnecessarily appropriated by all the modern idiots and bitches. It was about him and his wife and the miracles of Moscow. Of course, in a Christian saint, I'm a heathen writer, but he was an excellent person. Now, okay, that is the typewriter of Bulgakov, and he also had a little hole in the telephone, of course. Alright, the name is a Bulgakovsky Dom. We see one person and another person. The Split Self of Bulgakov. There was a book called Analyzing His Personality. Oh, there we go. We went to the Sade nearby. I remember I was running, oh, that's my birthday party, 22nd July. Everyone was invited. I was singing, and we had fun, all of us. Vladimir Vysotsky, Armata, Pushka. Okay. That's the greatest Pushka ever, I guess. What else do we have here? Oh, Minion Plazalski, chased by Russians away. And this, I almost got caught taking a picture of ex-KGB, nowadays FSB headquarters. Somehow I evaded notice. That's the Mayakovsky Museum. He shot himself, suicide. Okay. There's us with the girls and boys. And this girl to the left from Sanok saved my ass because I was taking pictures on the Red Square, and the two FSB guys wanted Straf and they wanted to take me to Ljubljanka, but the charming lady interfered, and hence my ass was saved. GUM, the trading center. Wild dogs, stray dogs, and that would be about it. There were many stories along the way, but I decided to make a shortcut. Thank you.